I've talked to a few people about the joys and the pain of COVID-19 in our parish. The overriding pain is one of lack of fellowship. It's our inability to meet together. Like lots of churches, we can celebrate how we've managed to do online services and lots of people have joined and that's been really good, and we've thought about how we can continue that. But it's the pain and the real pain of not being able to meet together to worship God that is the overriding memory for many people. Of course, there are things we can celebrate, and we have a very strong musical tradition. Our music group has put together songs and hymns that have been shared with other parishes. And I'm delighted that we've been able to share some of the God-given gifts in music that we have here. But the pain is that we can't worship together. And I yearn for the day when we will meet again around the Lord's table and share the Eucharist once more.
We reached a point here at Wyke when we really needed to offer online worship, but we didn't have the technical support. Robert Cotton and his curate at Holy Trinity Guildford came to the rescue and offered help and guidance. We now have a weekly Eucharist service here at Wyke on Zoom, and it's enabled our 3 congregations to come and worship together, which is fantastic. And we have new people stepping up into new roles, and that is really exciting.
Towards the beginning of the lockdown, we noticed 2 things that were happening. One was there was an outpouring of prayer, and the other thing was there was an outpouring of gratitude towards NHS workers and other key workers. And so we thought we'd do a service that combined those 2 things. We asked people to record the clapping on Thursday evenings, and also our local school recorded their students doing clapping in all sorts of interesting and joyous ways. We had lots of people from the community sending in artwork of rainbows, and we asked our Mayor and our MP, Jeremy Hunt, to send in prayers. We combined all of this together with a couple of hymns, and it became a really joyful service of Thanksgiving. To date, it's been our most popular service.
During lockdown, we have done 3 key things. We've given gifts to local GP surgeries and pharmacies and other businesses working during this time, including our undertakers. Our undertakers then blessed us and gave us a gift, and that contributed towards the cost of us delivering cake boxes across our community to members of our church, those who are isolated, and people who would regularly attend our community cafe. And then finally, we've done a lot of fence ministry, making the most of the fence outside the church. We've had all different displays with different things on them, and that more than anything has generated discussions about Jesus with people in our local area.
Hello, I'm Judith from St Jude's, Englefield Green. During lockdown, I've turned down 2 funerals because the families weren't willing to observe the guidelines around social distancing and restricted numbers at the graveside. If I'd taken the funerals, surely I would have let down the many families who've so sacrificially complied with those guidelines. But the funerals went ahead without me, gridlocking the village and surely an increased risk of infection. I still don't really know if I got it right.
Hi, we're Johnny and Kathy from Walton-on-Thames. The COVID-19 lockdown has been really good for our parish in some ways and really bad in others.
From a standing start, we formed a community action team, doing shopping for neighbours, providing emergency food parcels and organising collections for Food Bank. One parishioner is baking doorstep loaves, anonymously leaving them on people's doorsteps, creating huge goodwill all round.
In discipleship, as well as weekly recorded services, we meet by Zoom for our all-age and evening services, plus children and youth groups midweek. We've also started running the Bible course, Youth Alpha. We're doing daily Bible reflections and children's bedtime stories. This has all been possible because of the hard work of our communications manager.
However, financially we are really struggling, and we've had to furlough our administrator, verger and Children and Youth Minister.
10, 9, 8,
7,
6, 5, 4,
3, 2,
1. Welcome to XLTV!
SES is Stoke Community Support, formed as a community-led response to the coronavirus. We recognise that a lot of families were in a tight spot because of the pandemic, food poverty, vulnerable families, families on free school meals, other families who have lost income, and we wanted to try and meet that need.
There are huge needs in our community, but one of the key things is food poverty. In this particular time, the levels of food poverty and those who can't get access immediately to food need is growing exponentially.
So I've been working within the community for about 10 years, and SCS has really enabled me to further develop those established relationships.
SCS is led by St John's Church Stoke and St Peter's Shared Church Stoke Hill, and we're working in close collaboration with the charity Foodwise and also St Saviour's Church and several local schools including Wayfield Primary Academy, Christ College and Guildford Nursery School and Family Centre. The schools and the churches are referring families into SCS and also providing volunteers.
The reason why we're doing this is that we want to be salt and light in the community. We're a Christian organisation, the two churches coming together, working with faith and no faith.
We're involved with SCS by referring vulnerable families that we work with on a one-to-one basis.
Building on the relationships already established has meant that we've really been able to target the families that need this work the most.
People that perhaps on low incomes, on 0-hour contracts have lost their jobs and benefits haven't kicked in, so we've got that whole pocket of people that are suddenly hitting really, really hard times.
I think there's something really special about this community in that this is not taken as a charitable handout, but actually it's about when you need a hand, I'll give you a hand, and you might be able to then give someone else a hand.